Between work, running around for the kids, and keeping the house clean, cooking a family dinner each and every night isn't always easy to accomplish. But with our family-style dinners, you will never have to stress about what is on the table for dinner. Chef Bill Collins is a personal chef, and he is here to show us how to make an easy and delicious baked chicken parmesan. Great to have you back, Chef Bill.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Great to be here.
Chicken parm, it seems like it's a meal that everyone loves to eat.
Everybody loves it. Not only is it a great family favorite, kids go crazy over this. It's a treat. Everybody loves it.
And it's good for you.
It is. This is a very healthy variation on chicken parmesan. It's not deep fried, it's not pan fried, it's not fried. We bake it. And that's going to save a lot of calories, and you're going to keep the same flavor.
All right, so we're going to use chicken breast, obviously, for this.
Yep.
Now, there's a trick that you use to get that chicken ready.
Exactly. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. I like to flatten it. You don't have to, but so many of them are varying thicknesses that you might get a little bit more overcooked than the other. So what I like to do is to flatten out the chicken breast and give it a uniform size.
I like to, too. I'm definitely a big fan of making it nice and thin.
And so what I like to do, between 2 pieces of wax paper and this little mallet. Now, what you want to do is you don't want to use the bumpy tenderizing side like you might use for beef, because that's just going to kind of break up the chicken. Use the flat side. Now, you also don't have to really wail on it. This is heavy. Just kind of really drop it down a bit.
You can release your tension in other ways. You don't have to hit it that hard, right?
Exactly, you know?
Watch out for those fingers, of course.
Exactly.
Now, do you trim the fat or anything off of the chicken?
Yes, I do, but usually boneless, skinless chicken breast is rather lean.
Okay.
So usually there's not much fat on it. If there is a little bit on there, as you see, there's just a trace amount on there. You can leave it, take it off, whatever you're most comfortable with.
All right.
And I've got my gloves on because it's so much easier for staying clean and sanitary when I'm using the raw chicken.
And when there's kids around, you just take them off. You don't have to worry about washing your hands every single time. You gotta
Exactly, because kids sometimes need your attention without notice, and so this way you have to go off and grab them. So if you could just actually move that
we're gonna
out of my
move
way.
this out of the way.
That's
no problem.
perfect. And I'm going to bring the chicken down here. I'm going to bring the egg. Now the egg mixture, I'm just going to slide this over here.
Here we go.
The egg mixture is just a little bit of egg and a little bit of olive oil. Now, what
you just kind of put it all together, eyeball it.
Yep. The recipe has the exact amounts. Now, if you want, go a little bit lighter by just going with egg white. Do a couple of egg whites instead of one egg, and that'll give you the same effect.
Great.
So now, we've got the egg, and this is a combination of breadcrumbs and panko. And panko are the Japanese breadcrumbs that also are a little bit crunchy. So I like to combine the two of them. And one thing about breadcrumbs, shop around a little bit, because a lot of them have the hydrogenated oils in them, and you like to avoid that kind of thing. And so maybe some of the natural ones, but just look at the ingredients and you'll end up with a great product. The breadcrumbs have a little dried oregano, basil, and I put in some Parmesan as well.
Fresh grated Parmesan.
Freshly grated, not from the green shaky can.
Right, exactly.
And not there's anything wrong with the green shaky can.
But fresh grated makes
Freshly grated.
Big difference.
It really does. It gives it a nice flavor. So now I'm just going to take the chicken and just really just roll around there. And the reason we do this in the egg with a little bit of oil is that's what helps the breadcrumbs stick. Otherwise, they would just fall right off.
And you don't, sometimes if I bread things, I take like handfuls of it and like push it into the chicken. You don't need to do that.
You know, no, the chicken won't know the difference, so.
I want to make sure you get as much breadcrumb on there as possible.
Well,
just gently put
what I also do sometimes is if there are some breadcrumbs left over, I'll just sprinkle them over the top. Because you do sometimes have a little bit more or less on there. So. And just put it on there like that.
So then the pan that you're putting it on, is that greased?
Yes, either just a little smear of olive oil or just a Pam spray. And just spray, you just want a light little coating.
Okay.
Yep. And just gonna shake this around to even out the breadcrumbs a little bit.
Now this is, you're making it for 4 chicken breasts, but if you have a bigger family or you want to make more, is this something that you can freeze, or do you not recommend doing that?
Absolutely. Not only does this freeze well, it thaws out well, and when you go to reheat it, it'll remain crunchy as well. So I would recommend making as much of this as you want, or as much as you have freezer space for, because again, thawed out the day before that you want it, and then pop it in the oven when you get home, and you'll save even these quick steps.
And that's what you're trying to show here, is how you can save time when you're on the go and you're working and you have to feed the family, but you don't want to have to make a meal every single night, or at least have to cook a full meal. You can just take this right out of the freezer.
Exactly. And one other thing too is that when you look at the size of these, even though these are probably 6-ounce portions of chicken, one of these might be enough for 2 small children, and so these really
easily
do stretch well.
That's for sure.
And so that's another advantage of the meal. It does go far. So now you're ready for the next step of popping it in the oven. And
All right.
one thing about it, because you've got a high oven temperature and these are pounded thin, it's not going to be 35 or 40 minutes that a lot of even a bone-in chicken breast might be, but these will be ready in somewhere around 14 to 17 minutes.
Great. Nice and quick, right?
Right.
So we're going to pop those in the oven. Now, what do you have it set at?
I've got the oven set at 450. So
Okay.
it's a very high temperature, and what I'm going to do is check it, and the way you check it is just see if it's nice and firm to the touch.
And with your finger, just touch it? Or?
You can touch it, yep, and we'll be showing you when it comes out.
Very good. So we got to let those cook, but
Yep.
we will be back to finish up the recipe in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. There's more Mass Appeal coming up in just a bit. Earlier in the show, Chef Bill Collins showed us how to make baked chicken Parmesan. And Chef Bill, it's done. It's out of the oven. Looks beautiful.
Thank you. It's as you saw how quick and easy it was to make.
So when we put it in the oven earlier in the show, it didn't have the sauce or cheese on it. What you did is just took it out, put some sauce and cheese right on top, and popped it back in the oven quickly.
Exactly. It just takes, just maybe 3 minutes more. Turn the temperature down, because at this point you're just going to heat the sauce through and melt the cheese. Now the way you tell it's done, there are a couple of ways. The easiest way is just poke the top. If it's nice and firm, it's done. If you're uncomfortable with that, feel free to cut it in half or stick a temperature thermometer into there, whatever makes you more comfortable. But if it's firm, it's done.
And you can serve it with any kind of pasta, right?
This is great with pasta. With leftover sauce, it's almost just like going out to your favorite Italian restaurant. You've got a plate of the pasta on the side with some tomato sauce, the chicken Parmesan, a salad, and you've got your whole meal.
Looks just like it, yeah. And then your family is impressed. They think that you went and got takeout or something, but
Exactly.
no, you made it yourself.
and it's healthier because it's not fried.
Right, exactly. And so now we're going to plate it up. So we'll serve it, and it's a great size portion too. After you pound it nice and thin, it's still a really good sized chicken breast.
It is, and you can go thinner if you want, almost whatever size. And if you go thinner, it will cook faster. So whatever your timing is, you can have exactly the look you want.
Well, it looks delicious, Bill, and I'm sure that people are really looking forward to making this for their family.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much. And you can view this family-friendly recipe and many more online at mymassappeal.com. Just click on Taste Appeal.